Hafade, and welcome back, everybody. There is a concert coming up that we want to tell you about that pays tribute to World War II survivors. Now, Brenda and Joey are here, and we are going to talk about this wonderful event. Hafade.
Hafade.
Hafade, Jason.
Okay, so obviously we are doing this to honor and to remember and to pay homage to the survivors of World War II and the ones that passed and the one that paid the ultimate sacrifice. But I understand, as for the quality of the entertainment, Brenda, there's music from the 40s, kind of
Yes.
within that time period.
Yes, so we wanted to focus on their time, and we wanted to do something a little bit more festive, because most of the memories and most of the celebrations or events that we have around this time of year are commemorative to the massacre sites and other things. And they've always been telling their stories about how they survived the tribulation of war. But we wanted to kind of see what they did to maintain their family lifestyle, and music was one of the things.
Now,
that
for
impressed
those of us who can't go back, and I would assume it would be most people and everything, what was the style of music like during the 40s? Most people think like, is that the Grease era was like around the 50s, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
The doo-wop or
bebop.
It was definitely in the big band era, the big band, and then you had on the other side of that the bebop, and you know, outside of that genre, outside of jazz, there was also the country and western style of music that was coming out, which was quite popular too during that time period, most especially here.
big band music is fantastic.
Absolutely.
So you get a lot of brass playing, a lot of horn
Brass,
sections,
horn
really good
section.
percussion,
Yes, sir.
a lot of piano and
Absolutely.
everything, and like all of those elements put together.
Yes, that's why we've basically just been working with the instrumentation aspect of it. The groups that are going to be involved are going to consist of the basic rhythm sections, like the bass, drum, guitar, and the keyboards. We'll be incorporating the horn section as well, and we'll be utilizing the Guam Territorial Band to participate with us to kind of create that ambiance
Wonderful.
in the very beginning of the event. So
And they are true masters of their craft.
They are.
They can adapt to any era, and I'm sure they're very, very excited to play that era, not just because of the challenge of that style of music for today's generation, but also because it's for such a worthwhile
Right.
cause.
Absolutely. And we could have easily just maybe even went even further to tap into some of the military bands here as well. But we decided to just keep it local and just kind of work around the entertainers and the musicians that we had here to our avail to be able to ask them to participate. And Guam Territorial Band was very forthcoming in doing that and stepping up to fill us with the big band music that's going to be presented for the
Excellent.
meeting.
Okay, now Brenda, this is going to be at the Sheraton. When exactly, and how can people get tickets?
Sheraton, Laguna, June 28th, Tuesday. We start our ceremonies at 5:30, but I have to tell you, it is a sold-out event.
Nice.
So we have a wait list going right now. We have people calling both Joey and I to try to get tables, and
People calling
unfortunately,
their cousins.
yes,
Absolutely.
everybody,
Everybody they know. Yeah.
calling the president of the
All the way up.
foundation.
Yeah. Old classmates that you haven't heard from in 20 years saying,
course.
hey,
You know, and
my
actually,
buddy.
actually, with even Frank Bloss even coming up and saying, I have even relatives calling me to try to see if they can get around that system, and fortunately we've been able to just kind of keep it straightforward with everybody just buying the tickets, and it was announced earlier on, maybe 2-3 months ago, when we first started to consider opening the sale of the seats and for the tables as well. And we were really looking at it from just everybody wanting to be a part of it. And believe it or not, even up to the last few days, that people were still very interested in purchasing tables, and we just had to just turn them down and say, I'm sorry, we're sold out pretty much, and we won't be able to sell at the door anymore either.
All right. Well, this is one of
Right.
Senator Frank Bloss Jr.'s one of many activities that he has done throughout his career.
Yes, it is.
Not just as a public servant, but also as a citizen of Guam, to
Right.
make sure that current generations don't forget the sacrifice that generation made and what they had to give up and everything, and making
Exactly.
sure that we respect them as part of our history.
And
Absolutely.
that's what this is all about. We're one of our themes is Music Live, Legacy Alive, and we are all descendants of the war survivors. And so that's what you're going to see up on stage, is sons and daughters of Guam singing their parents' favorite songs.
All right.
So we're excited.
Well, that's my grandmother's people, so we're
There
very
you
excited
go.
to cover for you.
There you
Most
go. Are you
especially.
coming?
Absolutely. Can't wait for it. So that's going to be next Tuesday, everybody, the 28th at the
Yes.
Sheraton. We'll see you guys there. Thank you very much.